Scanning a body is useful as it's non-invasive. We don't have to open somebody up to see what's wrong in a lot of cases. We need to make X-rays for an X-ray scan, obviously. We do this by having a cathode and anode with a high PD applied. The cathode is heated and electrons pop off that and are attracted to the anode, which includes a heavy metal target like tungsten. The electrons collide with the tungsten, exciting its electrons, and they emit X-ray photons when they de-excite. These photons need to be attenuated by what you're scanning if you want to produce an image on a film or sensor. To attenuate radiation means to simply reduce the intensity of it. There are four main ways that this happens. Simple scattering, also known as Rayleigh scattering, when a photon incident on an atom doesn't have enough energy to ionize it, but interacts with it in such a way that it changes direction. Next, we have the photoelectric effect. You already know this one. If a photon has enough energy, it'll be absorbed by an electron on an atom, liberating it. The Compton effect is kind of a mix of the first two. The photon causes an electron to be liberated. We can say it's scattered itself, but the photon isn't completely absorbed. Instead, it's scattered too with a lower energy than it had initially. Finally, pair production. Again, you know this one. If a photon merely comes close enough to an atom to interact with it, the photon can spontaneously turn into two particles, a particle and its antiparticle, usually an electron-positron pair. Whatever happens, the intensity of the X-rays is reduced a different amount depending on what is doing the attenuating, bone, soft tissue, etc. We have an equation to describe the exponential decay of the intensity, but it's not with time, it's with distance through the material. I over I0, intensity over initial intensity, is equal to e to the minus mu x, where x is the distance it travels through the material, and mu is the attenuation or absorption coefficient, just a constant that's different for every material. And as you know, that this power can't have a unit, mu must have the unit meters to the minus 1. Bone has a higher mu than soft tissue, which means that this ratio is less for it, so less is transmitted to the film, which is why bone shows up on the scan, and then there's that contrast between bone and soft tissue. But what if you want to scan a part of your body with no bone, say your bladder or digestive system? So for that, a liquid or medium with a high mu is injected or ingested. It might include barium or iodine. That provides the contrast needed. That's why we call it exactly that. A CAT scan, computerized axial tomography, sometimes just shortened to CT scan, is an X-ray on steroids. The X-ray tube is rotated around the patient with a ring of detectors sensing how much the rays are attenuated at every angle. The data is then processed by a computer to build up a 3D image of your internals. Contrast isn't needed necessarily, but it is often used to speed up the scan. A tracer is a gamma-emitting liquid that is injected into a patient, something like fluorine-18 or technetium-99, which you might remember from nuclear. The gamma rays are detected by a gamma camera. Generally, that's a parallel hole design. Only those rays traveling parallel are detected, and that allows an image to be formed, compensating for the fact that lenses don't really work with gamma rays, so they can't be used to focus them. The photons that make it through the collimator reach the scintillator. That's a material that absorbs gamma photons and emits thousands of lower energy visible light photons per gamma photon absorbed. Finally, these visible light photons reach the photomultiplier tubes, PMT for short, which convert the photon energy into an electrical pulse, which is then used by a computer. This allows doctors to see where and how blood is flowing and if there are any blockages or internal bleeding, for example. Positron emission tomography or PET scans use annihilation. A positron-rich substance is injected into the patient. The positrons very quickly meet electrons and annihilate, producing a pair of gamma photons that travel in opposite directions to the ring of detectors around the patient, and their point of origin is able to be calculated. Ultrasound is any sound that has a frequency higher than 20,020 kHz. These can be used to scan a patient's soft tissue. This is because, much like light, sound waves are partially reflected when they reach a boundary between two materials or mediums, at least if they have different acoustic impedance. Symbol we use for acoustic impedance is Z, and it's just equal to the density of the material, ρ, times the wave speed, c. If two mediums have the same impedance, we say they're acoustically matched and no reflection occurs. This is why gel needs to be used between the transducer and the patient's skin to minimize reflection before the waves are inside the body. The ratio of the intensity of reflected wave to incident wave is given by the difference in impedance squared divided by their sum squared. The transducer is what emits the ultrasound and detects the reflected waves. It consists of an array of piezoelectric crystals, crystals that change shape slightly when you apply a PD to them. Applying an alternating PD makes them vibrate at the same frequency, allowing for very high frequency sound waves to be produced. Not only that though, when sound waves are incident on them, a tiny PD is induced in them, which is then detected. In fact, some normal microphones use the piezoelectric effect to produce a signal in the same way. There are two main ways that an ultrasound is performed. An A scan involves sending pulses downwards into the patient, which are then reflected at the various boundaries at different depths. The time taken for them to return is measured from the resulting echoed pulses detected, and the depths of these boundaries are calculated, building up a one-dimensional image of what's below. Doing lots of A scans while moving the transducer sideways is a B scan, which of course allows us to build up a 2D image of the patient's internals. Ultrasound scans don't provide nearly as much detail as other scans, but they are beneficial for a couple of reasons. Firstly, they don't produce any harmful radiation, which is why they are the scan of choice when we want to see what's going on with a baby in a mummy's tummy. Secondly, they show layers of soft tissue, whereas X-rays can't do that, and CT scans generally need added contrast to do that. They're also cheap, quick, and easy. Ultrasound can also be used to measure blood flow rate in veins and arteries using a Doppler scan, so called because it measures the change in wavelength of the waves reflected off red blood cells traveling toward or away from the transducer. There's a 2 in there, of course, because the wave is going there and back, but as the transducer can't be directly in line with the blood vessel, of course, we multiply by cos theta to compensate for the fact that it's at an angle to it when it's on the skin. So I hope you found that helpful. Leave a like and a comment if you did. And don't forget to check out our revision app to help you test your knowledge. And I'll see you next time.